Welcome back, I am Lews Therin, and this is my blind run of Total War Rome 2. So, back in the last time you saw me, we avoided war with the barbarians, we avoided war with the Celts, I think, and we are in knee-deep with a war with both the Libyans and these guys, the Massaeli. Now, it took me some time to think about it, but I've decided that this war with the Massaeli, not worth it. Mostly because I'm starting to see that we're having problems just attacking in general. I mean, look at this. If we press attack, we're basically destroyed because they have an enormous army with an amazing general who just really isn't going to do it for us. So, because we have this siege going on, that sort of thing, I think I'm going to try to negotiate peace with them. And I know they did that before, and I kind of laugh at them, but that was mainly because I didn't think it would be that big a deal. So I'm going to... Okay, so we negotiated peace. Perfect. So now that the peace is settled here, we have 5 turns to basically chill out and leave them alone. In the meantime, we have to look into having our fight with Libya. Now, for our fight with Libya, I have decided that I wanted to move this army right here from Napoli over. So let's move him. Oh wait, you're with him, right? Let's actually hold back on the recruitment so that we can use him. Because the army moves so slowly, I think it'll be fine if I just leave him at sea. So we're gonna increase the fleet here. We're gonna make a fleet of basically people who are gonna just guard the army because I am very concerned about leaving the army just by itself. In the meantime, over at Vela 3, I have been forming this little army over here that basically is gonna be there in case we need it, but I really hope we don't because I don't need to maintain more troops if I don't have to. The army here in Carthago is still pretty good though. Now, because we pulled off on the invasion here in Sidamus, or whatever the heck this is called, we actually bought ourselves some time for a second army here on the side to actually join us. So let's see what comes from this. I didn't actually end the turn, so let's do that first. I really am very excited though about the movement of these armies here because right now, because I held back on the first war with the people over here on the side whose name keeps escaping me, we can actually focus more on Libya. So Sparta has basically decided that they might fight us. So Sparta now decided that they're no longer going to be allied with us. And that's actually really, really concerning because it means that they are now looking into fighting us. As such, we're going to have to move over to a more aggressive stance. Population surplus in Italy. So over in Italy, in Napoli specifically, we're going to be building some stuff. I want to build, let's do should we do a trading port or should we do, let's see, yeah, let's just increase the food here. Now, earlier I moved the army out of here. I'm now regretting that decision. I'm going to move it back. However, this navy that I constructed will have a use. They're going to actually move over to Brundisium because clearly, very clearly, the Greeks in Sparta are definitely thinking about fighting us. As such, we're going to build a stronger navy, and we're going to hope that they can actually help us out. Now, the war with Libya still rages on, and as such, I want a navy here as well so that the city is even more well defended. And this army over here, ever so slowly, trucks over to Eol. Over on this side, our army over here should be heading to Dimity, or at the very least here, because I don't think that we really need to go all the way to the city, to be honest. I think we can hang out on the borders and we'll be just fine. eventually, 5 turns from now, we're going to come back here anyway. Now, this army over here that I put in Napoli right now is actually going to start moving also to Brundisium, because this is the closest thing I have to a Spartan territory. Because the Spartans have decided that they're no longer just going to hold off on fighting us, we have to assume that the worst is going to come, and they're going to fight us. So, I don't know. They would have to come from this area of what formerly was known as Macedonia, and I expect them to actually attack Athens and whatnot. So because they're doing this, I'm going to start talking to Athens and seeing if Athens wants to help me take them down, because while Sparta was not my intent at the moment, clearly that's something that I'm going to need to do. Also, because my concentration might move over to this area right here, I need to secure my interests here. So I'm going to actually befriend these guys over here. We have a trade agreement, but I actually want a non-aggression pact. And I'm willing to pay for it. So I'm willing to pay about 100. Let's see how they do it. So they don't care. So in the end, if we have to fight, we fight. But I'm just trying to avoid unnecessary conflicts at the moment. Yeah, I think that's about what we need to do. Let's go back to Libya here, though, and cause some more disruption. We will spread cultural tension. Yes, cultural tension. Let's do that. Yes, we're disrupting them. We're making rebellions likely here on Libya, which will complicate their overall management of their states. So Sextus here is getting a lot more points, which is good, because I am enjoying him right now. He is doing a lot of good work. Let us end the turn. I haven't actually done a good administrative run in a while, but we will be doing that soon, because as I said earlier, since we're not really engaged in any active warfare, just a small conflict with Libya, we should be doing fine. Syracuse is also fighting Libya, so I mean they always can provide a necessary buffer for us. Now, let's take this moment as well and talk about some stuff. I mentioned it earlier in another episode, but I'm going to talk about it right now. Pokemon Go. A lot of people are playing that game, and I still don't know how I feel about it. On the one hand, I want to say it's kind of silly that there's all these people fucking walking around pretending to catch these things. But then again, aren't all games kind of silly? If you really think about it. I mean, here I am pretending to be a Roman conqueror. I am not. Never will be. Mainly because Rome is not an empire anymore. So, you know, there's that. So I think that, you know, people need to chill out on both. I think people like it too much. I agree that I agree with some of the points that people are making. Some people are saying that people like the game too much, that they talk about it too much, they obsess over it, when in reality the base game is kind of trash. And I think that is true, that the base game is kind of trash. However, the game clearly has something if so many people are actively engaged with the game. As such, I feel like even though, yes, the game is kind of whatever, people like it. And as such, you really don't need to be hating on it constantly. It's not really interfering with your life too much. The only time it did interfere with my life was on my way to work a few days ago, where I was driving and some dumbass was on a bike playing Pokemon Go, and she couldn't tell that there was a car behind her at all. I was gonna honk, but they say not to honk at bikers, so like I had to drive at like super slow speeds, because God forbid I ran over the girl playing Pokemon Go and not minding where she was on the road. Anyway, that's the only real problem we have. Now, I said it earlier, we need to go on an administrative run just to make sure that everything is up to par. See, here in Magna Graecia, I can upgrade the food supply, and I really am happy about that, because as I said earlier, the more we absorb, the less food we have, and the less food we have, the more likely we are to have issues. But other than that, we really don't have a lot more to do. We're not rich enough to be building whatever the hell we want. And besides, we still haven't investigated the upgrades that allow us to build every single kind of store in a better fashion. Now, let's see. Over here, we're still looking at Libya. They still haven't done anything, mainly because attacking Carthage seems like a dumb idea. And Syracuse is probably just bringing hell to them for a little while. So, you know, there's that. I'm surprised Libya has not stopped and like even engaged me diplomatically. They've always been good to me, but you know, it is what it is. There's the food shortage I said might occur. So Napoli has developed slums, and that is unacceptable, especially in my city. And in Rome, well, there's not much I can do actually because, you know, it's a food shortage. What do you want me to do about it? What I can do though is I can lower the taxes so that people don't get too pissy. This might help out a little bit. Yeah, I don't mind lowering them for one turn. It's not a big deal, especially considering we are where we are in terms of money. Now, I said earlier I wanted to engage Athens in a conversation, and we're going to do just that. So, Athens, we're in a trade agreement and non-aggression pact. I want to have you, not in a military, but in a defensive alliance. But because you don't want to be in a defensive alliance, it's pretty sad. You give me military access. Athens. So if I get in a fight with Sparta, which is likely, would you like me to fight? No, actually, Athens is going to hate me, now that I think about it. So Athens is going to hate me once I fight Sparta, because they're both Greeks, and as much as they probably hate each other, they don't hate each other as much as they hate me. So we're going to actually create no, you don't want a military alliance because you eventually want to conquer me. Let me initiate diplomacy with these guys. So, Massilia. I'm starting to think Massilia. Nope. So, I'm trying to juggle around all of these different factions, and I'm starting to understand that we might just need to increase our army's presence. There are 2 armies here, mainly just to deal with this, but once this is done, I need this army to move. I need one of the armies to move back here to Cartagenesis, or whatever the hell this is called, Cartagenesis, and manage that area, because eventually these people are going to turn on me sooner than them and sooner than them. Over here we already have an army building. It's not really done, but it's building over here. Worst case scenario, we hire some mercenaries, and we already have this army ready for not Athens, Sparta, which is definitely getting ready to battle us. I want to compare Sparta's might to ours. So Sparta, technically, not mighty at all. But then again, that's what it says about the Messiah, whatever the fuck. I think that we're considered mighty because we have many troops, but I don't think it takes into account the fact that our troops are quite spread out. Why are we suffering attrition? Oh, because we're still not completely Roman, so you get mad about it. Okay. We're gonna recruit. No, see, I don't want to recruit shit. Can we increase the... No. I was going to try to increase the troop presence, but... I mean, not the troop presence, the barracks, but frankly, it's not worth it. These guys are just hanging out way too close to the border. But we're going to hang out here in the border because we will come back for them soon. Should we increase the navy though? Do I have any? Okay, so I'm struggling to think, should I raise armies, or oh, we only can have 6 armies at a time. So that's a new one. I didn't even know how many armies we could have at a time. So we have one over here to guard the north of Italy. We have one over here for Sparta. We have 5 technically. We have one over here for Carthage, and then we have this one right here to guard, and then I have another one moving back. I'm starting to think that that was the bad idea. We're gonna move this one to Eol and basically just leave it there, because obviously right now it's not the time to be moving armies willy-nilly just like that. Now I need to start hoping that my armies just work, and since I can only have a certain amount of armies, I'm gonna start recruiting. So that way, at least we have a stronger force over here, and that might be able to help us overall. Let's end the turn. I'm hoping that Libya gives up the war before we do. Because if Libya does that, it might make me more capable to deal with Sparta. But you know, that all depends on how much pressure Syracuse puts on them as well. In a perfect world, Libya would be like a client state or something, but I just don't think that's gonna happen right now. Oh, finally, astronomy. Yeah, I have some attrition, but that's fine. Lucius enjoys the games. Pavius, whatever the fuck, and it's probably crude. And lewd. Okay, that's quite disgusting actually. Okay, whatever. So we can definitely now upgrade some of the buildings and stuff, but we're gonna have to look into that actually starting over in Italy, obviously, with Rome. So let's see, we can upgrade. Oh yes, the slums. I don't need these slums anymore. We're definitely gonna increase our food supply because the food shortage is real. And then we'll move on from there. Actually, let me see here. Africa. Here we are. Oh wait, this is not mine. Wait. This is mine though. Theater. Let's make a theater. And then we're done. We spent all our money. I think I've decided that we're gonna have to look into not engaging these people for a while, because I cannot afford to be fighting too many wars. As such, I'm gonna move this army back here, and then we'll see after that. However, over here, I definitely do want to engage Libya. Let's see, where can I do army upkeep costs? Let's do, ooh, nope. Okay, let's get naval maneuvers in the next 3 turns so that we can move on with everything else. This is a slower part as well, but I'm also very much into the idea of spreading out the armies now in a more strategic fashion. I was not aware that you can only have 6 armies, and the fact that Sparta kind of sprung up with their, oh, we kind of don't like you anymore thing, does scare me a bit. However, I'm starting to wonder if I'm being too scared, and maybe what I need to do is, instead of having so many units hanging out here for protection, maybe I need to lay back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this army that was in Brundisium to Cassentia. Part of it just to move to Cassentia and make it easier for me to move this way in case Syracuse betrays me, or in case I need the resupply from Libya to Libya. But also because that way the Spartans can think that I'm not that scared about it. And that's fun. So we're going to spread some propaganda here in Libya, because this is always going to be my main goal, to take Libya. But my agent failed, so, you know, that happened. We're going to move this army here, and we're going to camp here for the time being. What I'm going to do here is we're also going to not hire a mercenary, not at all actually. What we're going to do is we're going to recruit an agent, and we're going to recruit a champion to train my army. No, champions are not fucking cheap, huh? So what he's going to do is, well, next turn actually, I'll merge him with this army, and he will help the army train better, so that we have a stronger army, and that army can fight over here on the war we have on the side. Well, we will have on the side. So we will have a war over here on Massaeli, but right now that's not really our concern. Right now our concern is the war with Libya, which it will do well, I guess. I don't think it'll be a problem, but still. I've decided that we're gonna march. And we will easily take this city, I suppose, once the computer stops, you know, acting up on me. There we go. Yeah, so we're gonna auto-resolve. We're gonna easily win. There we go. So now we're gonna easily take over this little area right here. And we're going to peacefully occupy because we're not cunts. We didn't do that to people. And our general will increase in rank, which is good. General, let's do strategist. Then we're gonna upgrade the city just a bit. So we're gonna wait. Yeah, we're gonna definitely get rid of the temple first. We're gonna get rid of their ghettos. We're gonna get rid of their docks, even though I can't afford it. I can't afford the rest. So we're just chill here for now. And we're gonna start sending Sextus over to the border. That's all we're gonna do for now. The taxes are still low, aren't they? Oh, and we're very low on food. We're very low on food. I didn't realize we were so low. Can we build more places to make food? Yeah, so in about one turn we're gonna have more food. But in the meantime we're kinda starving. I mean, it'll have to happen, sorry. Oh yes, the army's coming back. It's going a bit slower than before, huh? Syracuse just keep aggressively attacking.
I offer this in the name of our people. Let this be a sign of goodwill to come.
Keltichi, why do you want military access? I'll give you military access if you pay me. Let's do 1,000. If you pay me 1,000. Yeah, no, he's not gonna do it. Oh well, I tried. I mean, I kind of just want money. Not that I'm too broke, but I'm broke enough, you know? So Libya definitely ran away from my territory quite quickly. I'm not liking the fact that we need to take these long roads for moving. Okay, wait a second. Another family seeks to adopt one of my characters. We're not doing that. He's mine. Alright. Yeah, I don't want to get rid of the Julii just yet. Actually, now that we're talking about the Julii, let's see if we can promote somebody else. You're 40, so that's pretty good. You're also 40. Who do I like better? You or you? It really doesn't matter because you're about the same age. I don't like the wife though. We're gonna kill his wife because the wife apparently sucks. And then, didn't we already assassinate the wife? Whatever. Right now he's not military. Wait, so he's military tribune right now. So let's move this dude up to Inquisitor. So we have Julii people moving up, which is good. It's a good waste of money because they provide buffs to us all and they help with the political dynamics. So we're also going to provide military training to the army over here, and hopefully that'll make them very strong. The last one that I had with military training was an excellent army, so I expect nothing less from this one. We're going to move the fleet away because since we have an army camped here, there's no need to have a fleet as well. And we're going to move the fleet all the way to Corrales so that they're in a more central location and able to help us if anything does go south. We're also going to move this fleet over here to Thapsus because we need to start moving the army rather quickly. Let's upgrade the city first though. The city will have I don't have a farm or meeting place. No, I think the farm will be fine because they like me already. So we're also going to upgrade the army just a bit. Spearman is all I get, but it'll do. Shit, can you do it? Thank you. Wait, what if I just get some mercenaries? Only one? Can I only afford cavalry? No. I refuse. I'd rather get 2 spear. Alright, so after this turn, we'll move them. Actually, what we'll do is we'll move him, then recruit the units. Yep, now we're gonna recruit the units. Alright, done. So we have an army here ready to secure this area of Libya. We also have our allies fighting over there, and hopefully this'll help us out. We still have that one army camped in Cassentia, which is something. But we're gonna definitely move this navy over to Brundisium because clearly the fucking Spartans are after us. It's just a matter of when, not an if. So let's move on. I wonder if the Libyans will finally just call it quits, but I doubt they will. What I'm really interested is in seeing what the Athenians do about all this. The Spartans and the Athenians are clearly not friends, so one of them is eventually going to backstab each other, and I really hope the Athenians fuck the Spartans up, but it's just not going to happen.
My lord offers you peace. Tomorrow,
The Libyans gave up.
with this war may see him unleash further torments.
Ha. But they're weak right now. Counter offer. I was gonna make them my client state so they could just chill. See, I'm running low on money, so I don't think it's worth it.
Take this subsidy.
No.
An unwise, even foolish.
Yeah, we're just not gonna be able to do it because the offers that they give us are not good enough. I'd rather have the units and the resources and all that sort of thing. So we'll see how it goes. Now let's start going back to the military here, researching the what do you got here? Deck artillery. Artillery means better ship shooting. It's irrelevant right now. Upkeeps for fleets. Yes, let's do that, even though that's not necessarily what I'm interested in. Let's have the agents scout ahead. Let's destroy this small army just for the sake of destroying it. Or not. And then this fleet right here. No, we're gonna actually keep it there. Right, so we're sending this fleet here. And I think we're going to engage in diplomacy with Athens, because the Athenians apparently kind of don't like us, kind of hate us, but they're probably scared of Sparta right now.
To listen if you speak honestly. Truth will be your sharpest weapon. No. Athena has lent you wit.
Yeah, so I'm trying to be friends with them, but frankly I'm not seeing it, and now I'm starting to wonder if I should just get into war with the Spartans. But getting to war with the Spartans is probably a mistake at this point, because I still got all these people to the north who I don't trust. I trust them enough to not build a strong army against them, but at the same time I don't, you know, and I'm not sure. They could strike at any point in time, so we're gonna have to take it and see. In the meantime, this army right here is gonna move. No, I can't afford that right now. Well, actually, should I move? Let's see. If I move, what happens? Yeah, they're still happy. So let's move this way. Now you guys, how Roman are you becoming? Okay, so you're 52% Latin already, which is excellent. How far are you from? Are you 71% Latin? See, I'm converting these people so fast. These guys are 91. You're 91. You're at 54. Well, that's because we have the fucking Syracuse here just messing up our mojo. But whatever. We'll do what we have to do. And we're no longer in a food shortage, mainly because, if I'm not mistaken, over here I've established better food yield. Let's increase the docks though, just for the sake of having more. And then we'll also increase our food yield again soon. How is Africa doing? See, I've been forgetting to build this, and then I spent the money that I would have used for this. Oh well, we'll deal with that later as it comes. It's not important. Oh man, so I mean, I don't know how I feel about all these wars we got going on. We got a war with Libya, we got a war coming with Sparta, and I don't know, this is interesting. Okay, so they're attacking. Well, that's easy. Decisive victory with a 99% remaining force for Syracuse, not for us because we barely even engaged, which is good, you know. We're gonna release the captives though. We're not gonna be barbarians. And Libya still with no sign of their fucking peace treaty, huh? Increase in ranks for Publius Estonius or whatever. Yes. So the army here definitely growing in strength rapidly, thanks to the fact that we hired this dude, this champion for us. Now, speaking of armies, we're dying of attrition here. This is a bad place to be. So we're going to move this way. And we're also going to send the agent straight to the city. You're going to cause disruption by spreading cultural tension? Nah. Yeah, let's do spread cultural tension. Let's spread cultural tension here. But it didn't work out. I hope they don't see him though. Okay, it didn't work out, mainly because they kind of like me now. So I should have spread cultural tension. What I should do is fight this army, but I can't. I can't right now. Can I hire some mercenaries though? Yeah. Just to have a bit more strength. And then the fleet. Did I finally move that fleet over? Nope. Okay, so we now have a fleet fully functional here in Corrales. And that fleet will be excellent and will be very useful. Mainly because I've now decided I'm going to move it to Lilybæum, effective immediately. Next turn, I want in Lilybæum. Because that's still in this area of Magna Graecia, which I don't fully control. I wish I did, I really do, but I don't fully control Magna Graecia, so it's just not worth my time right now. Man, this game is something. To me, way harder than Shogun, by the way, but we'll see how it goes. Oh, whoops, I didn't assign a tradition over here. Pretty sure it's over here. Yeah, so some legions, when they're old enough, have traditions. This is the Legio one, my bad. Is this the Legio 4? And we're talking about an old legion, so what are we talking about here? Would it be this one? Oh, I guess it did. So they're gonna get a tradition because they love each other. Let's do this. Let's have better bows. Alright, so now the Legion has its tradition because it's useful. Nothing should be going on in the border, not that I know of. We're just camping the army there to have it there. Syracuse is talking to us.
Will you send your soldiers a most brave phalanx to crush them?
I will join you in the war if you pay me. Whatever.
You serve the gods and
Battle deployment over here. We're attacking them. If we auto-resolve, very high chance of winning, though. We'll fight aggressively. Their forces will be defeated, but ours will sustain minor damages, which is important. We're still releasing the captives. I don't think there's any need for us to be stupid. Iratani here, just chilling. Masayeli once again mounting an attack. Piso, which is the dude I adopted into the family, by the way, showing greater skill.
Ready for orders.
I have a very fractured city, but nevertheless, it is a city that I will take. So we're gonna take this city, which will be decently easy actually, just to take it. But then we're now gonna have to worry about the fact that Thapsus might be taken. So even though I put the sea people there, I'm still very concerned. Let's work on preparing the city though. We'll put a temple. Yeah, let's put a temple. A meeting place? Should we do a meeting place or a temple? I think a temple because I still want to make them more Latin. And I also want to increase Carthage's stuff. I'm seeing now that we're getting a bit of boosts here for stuff. Let's do yet another Shrine of Jupiter and a grain pit. This is all in Thapsus, which is arguably a mistake because I'm upgrading a city that my enemy might take. How fast can the army from Demeti reach Thapsus? We're gonna die of attrition if we go through there, so it's a bad idea. Let's have the army meet them this way. So if they start thinking about attacking, we're moving in closer, and as such, they will reconsider. But because this is happening, I'm now going to move the Cassentia army to Lilybaeum. It'll take almost 3 turns to get there, but I'm still going to do it. Wait, what if I do it through here? Yeah, so if I do it through here, it might actually be easier. Nope, it's about the same thing. So let's just go to Lilybaeum and see where that goes. Then another thing I want to do is I'm seeing that there's nothing, completely urgent going on the north. So we're going to move that army back to Rome in case that we do need to reinforce the south quicker. Also the navy here in Caralsus is going to move. It was going to move to Lilybaeum, but now it's going to move over to Carthage Prime because that seems to be an area of much more interest for us. And then finally, this army over here is actually going to go back to the city. I have no need to have it camped out in the forest for no good reason. Besides, this camping area is actually quite safe. They're not going to bother us for a while. They're mostly mad about the fact that we just took them over. Let me see right here. They have corruption, yes. Public order, da-da-da-da. Shut up. I want the details for this right here. So Lepsis, which doesn't provide much wealth to be quite frank, is pretty happy with us overall. They're just mad about the fact that we took them over just now. Alright, let's move on. Hey, we're swimming in money, which is good. I probably should invest some of it in upgrading Rome itself, but for now we're swimming in money, and that's always good. What I'm noticing is that we're yielding food only in the spring and summer, and the other ones we're not, so we're eating through that, which is realistic, I suppose, but, we haven't really talked about it much. You want a trade agreement? I'll do the trade agreement if we don't pay. I don't mind trading with you because it doesn't mean that we're going to be friends. It just means that we trade. They're moving a fleet over to invade Lepsius. I want to retreat. We can't retreat. Huh. Well, I think what we're going to do is we're going to fight this battle. But because the battles take upwards of 20 minutes, we're going to pause right here and move on to the next part for the battle. Until then, I am Lews, Therin, Telemon. This is the blind run of Rome 2 Total War. Until next time, and next time indeed, we will be fighting the Libyans as they invade once again on one of our cities. Goodbye.